Diablo the truth, man. Look, so as you see on the screenshot, this is a list of disinformation campaigns according to Joy Reid and some woman named Digital Sister. Right? Some lady named Digital Sister. She's already been on there like February of this year, and she put out some false stuff about ADOS. So here we go again. You know, she comes back on that platform and says that ADOS, this is a disinformation campaign. They're purposely put out here to kind of confuse people and put out false information like Russian bots. And there was no kind of, this is how you know it's propaganda, because MSNBC is owned by Comcast. So off top, you already know that there's going to be some kind of propaganda. There's going to be some form of propaganda because it's owned by Comcast. And you don't want people to be led by these people that are so-called just on YouTube. Like the ADOS movement is largely started from YouTube. You know, the FBA thing, that's a YouTube thing. So the thing is, you do not want people to kind of fall into these categories of the new black media. So what you have to do is demonize the black media, the new black media. You even had Roland coming out saying that, oh, I am the old black media and the new black media. Some foolishness, right? But when I look at this, it just lets you know how far we've come along. I don't really look at this thing like so. I don't look at it as a positive, but I don't look at it. I'm just looking at it as far as like, look how far we've came. This started off kind of all over the place at first. You know, we were kind of talking about this Pan-Africanism kind of thing. And then Yvette, she's kind of always stood on this square about being American first, right? She's always stood on her square about how she felt black Americans needed to, you know, how they needed to go forward politically. So out of all of these groups that you see on here, ADOS, Yvette Carnell, and Tone Talks, they have been the most consistent. See, the whole FBA thing, I'm not associated with that. But this goes to show you that all of these people that are so-called hashtag FBA, they're telling you, oh, we're not a group. According to the white supremacists, you're all in the group. They don't give a damn if you guys get along or you guys don't get along with ADOS or whatever the case may be, or y'all see it as the same thing. They already know the FBA and ADOS are kind of like going at it. They already know this. But they don't care. They just lump you into the whole thing. They got some stuff talking about black voices for Trump, Brexit, and walk away. Some of this stuff I've never even heard of. But at the top, they made sure the ADOS, you know, they had to put that one up top. They had to. And it's because we're making a lot of progress. You're making a lot of noise online to get it to a point where it's being broadcasted on MSNBC. When you're being broadcasted on MSNBC, that's pretty big. That's pretty major. You went from this kind of online thing, maybe it's a fad, maybe it's a trend, it'll eventually go away. until it turned into something that actually caught the attention of Comcast, MSNBC, New York Times, whatever. So ultimately, once you get that type of recognition on these type of platforms at that level, you're going to have people going to ask, oh, well, let me look into this. I read the New York Times. Let me go look into this ADOS. Let me look into the founder. Let me look at their videos. And you get more people to kind of pay attention to what you're talking about. They're either going to agree with it or they're going to disagree with it. And what I sense is because Yvette and Tone were the ones who made it into that New York Times article, there was some jealousy in the conscious community. There was. You can sense it being like, hey, I know they tried to lump Tariq Nasheed in it because I sincerely feel like he did get it popping as far as like getting people to kind of rally behind her and Tone, because Tone and Yvette, they kind of had a history of kind of going at it with people and getting into it with people. So he kind of made it like, oh man, yeah, we all together. Everybody's all in it. But as of recently, you know what I'm saying? I have to give it to Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks because they've been the most consistent. They've stayed, their message has been consistent the whole time. It's never been something where they switched it up. So that's why I always say, I'm ADOS. I don't know anything about FBA. And unfortunately, this has caused people to kind of pick their, because of the split, because of the whole ADOS FBA split, this has caused people to kind of split apart. Because I know I was cool with so many people I was cool with. But unfortunately, due to them being brainwashed by certain individuals because they're funny, they have charisma, they got charm, they got this and that, they're not paying attention to the facts and the stats and the data. They're dismissing the data. You see, that's when I started saying, well, damn, this is starting to become some kind of cult shit where everybody is just like they're in a cult and they're following everything that this leader is telling them to drink the Kool-Aid, and they willing to drink whatever Kool-Aid. They're not using logic. They're not using logic at all. And unfortunately, I'm not saying that I've like cut people off, but I've just kind of fell back from like messing with them because they're like brainwashed by this dude. And if I'm going by the facts, if I'm going by, man, who's been consistent, who's been, who's coming with the surgical analysis, I got to give it to Yvette and Tone. But unfortunately, you got guys that are just, they want to be entertained. That's what the conscious community, unfortunately, has turned into. It has turned into an entertainment thing that you kind of go weekly. Weekly, you want to see what these people talk about, some kind of current event, and you want to see them kind of make it entertaining. And I feel like the FBA side, they're more like entertaining, which is cool. But I feel like if you're going to be about this shit, if you're going to be about, black first, if it's really black first, you're going to be really behind the ADOS movement. You're not going to be behind FBA. You're not going to be behind that because the guy who, whether he says he's a leader or not, he's the de facto leader. Whether he can say I'm not the leader or whatever. It's not about what you say. It's about what everybody else say. It doesn't matter if you say, "Oh, I'm not the leader of FBA. This is just, I don't for FBI reasons." No, it doesn't matter. They already got you marked on there. They already got you. You're already on their list. So that stuff doesn't matter. As you see, they just lumped us all together when it came to the disinformation campaigns. So we need to really question and analyze, what are we really following? What are we really getting behind? I'm getting behind the ADOS because they've been consistent. They've been saying the same thing over and over and over again. And we have people that are saying, well, they telling you to vote Democratic down. They telling you to vote Democratic down. You don't have to do anything. If you don't want to vote, fine. You don't have to vote. But where Yvette is right and where Tone is right is that there are ballot measures that you have to vote for that has nothing to do with reparations. That has nothing to do with the left wing of white supremacy or the right wing of white supremacy. You have guys saying, I'm not voting. I'm just not voting, point blank, period. Okay, that's fine. But why are you making 40, 50-minute videos talking about why we shouldn't vote? 2 or 3 different videos talking about why we shouldn't vote. It's foolishness. If you're not going to vote, then you're just not going to vote. It seems like there's this thing like, man, I'm so frustrated at y'all because y'all going to start voting on ballot measures. Y'all shouldn't vote for anything. Y'all should just stay at home. No, I'm not going to stay at home. I'm not voting Democrat down, but I'm damn sure not staying home. I'm becoming more politically educated. And if there's some things that may affect me that are on the ballot measures, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to vote. But because of that, you had this division. You had this stuff going on. But to the larger society, they don't give a damn. They're saying FBA, ADOS, all of that's the same. You guys are all lumped in. It's just like a racist cop. He don't give a damn if you ADOS, if you Dominican, you're from Czech Republic, they don't care. They only see color. But us as black people, it's very important that we start identifying ourselves through lineage. Right? Now we start having our politics based around our lineage. Because even in whiteness, as I've said before, you have Italians, you have Irish, you have different cultures, and they wrap themselves around that and those politics around that. So, yeah, that's going to conclude my video for today. But the disinformation campaign, this stuff is going to continue to happen. This isn't the first time, and it won't be the last. It happens every time you have a movement that's making a considerable amount of noise, that's disrupting as far as like the white supremacist tactics and plans of them to kind of run these scams and these games on you. We still have a long way to go. We still have a long, long way to go. You know, I'm hoping that Byron Allen, he kind of funds some kind of ADOS super PAC. And black people, we have something that we could we have some kind of funding to get some kind of politician and make some change happen. But who knows? You know, who knows? I don't know what the hell may happen. But it's Diablo the Truth. Make sure you like this, you comment, you subscribe, and you share. What do you guys think, man? I'm out.